What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Off Market Operator Podcast. I am your host, Cole Ruud-Johnson. In today's show, I'm going to talk about some of the hires that you need to make to really start growing your business, where to find them, how to hire them, what to pay them, how to manage them, right? All the things that build the muscle of delegation, which allows you to, it really allows you to scale. So without further ado, let's get right into the show. Well, my fellow off-market operators, you guys out there searching for deals, doing your marketing, hustling, getting after it, building your team, building your vision, I commend you. One of the most frequent questions that I get asked all the time is, Cole, I don't know what to hire, who to hire next. And the reality is a lot of people, we all know the 50, 60, 70-year-old real estate agent or investor that has been on the hamster wheel their whole life. Right? I like to say they're doing real estate deals. It's not their business that's doing the real estate deals. It's them. And that's a frustrating place to be. And a lot of people realize they kind of just have a high-paying job if they have their own real estate business. Yeah, you're going to make your hours, but all the stress and uncertainty and everything falls on you. And that can be a difficult place for people to be. So one of the things that I focus on a lot is trying to make my message more concise around this, really around the topic of overseas talent and how it can impact your real estate business. Because a lot of you guys are struggling because you don't have the revenue to make certain hires yet, and you think you need to hire those stateside. There's a lot of positions that you need to make your life easier. I had a consulting call today with one of my inner circle clients, and I had him do what I call a time audit. And a time audit, he breaks down his calendar into 30-minute increments. And I looked at that, and it was chaos. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no understanding of what was going to happen in his business, and he had no leverage. And all of you guys listening to this, your job is to get leverage. You can get a lot of leverage even if you've got 50, 60, 70, 100 grand a month a year that your business is doing in revenue. Some of the core things that you should be hiring at is based on where you're spending your time. Because if you're just trying to do more deals and scale, trying to build more pipeline, make more money, the activity tied to making money is talking to people. Talking to sellers and talking to buyers. It's not Facebook groups. It's not coffee shops. It's not webinars. It's not joining a new coaching group every single week. It's talking to sellers and talking to buyers and spending as much time as possible doing that. What happens is as you start doing deals, your brain is going to optimize for the least difficult work that seems like it's making progress. Emailing your title and escrow company back and looking through title issues seems like progress, right? Working on a marketing campaign seems like progress. Talking to people about what you're going to do next on Facebook seems like progress, but really you're procrastinating in a lot of ways. And you're just avoiding doing the hard work of talking to more sellers and talking to more buyers. And that is the part of this that a lot of you are missing. So how do you get yourself to be able to spend more time there and not even have the option to optimize for the lower priority things that you're procrastinating with? Well, look at overseas talent. I'm going to name some roles, how to hire them, what to pay them. First thing is a lot of real estate investors, a lot of real estate entrepreneurs, a lot of real estate agents don't do their books, meaning they just simply don't understand their taxes. And they spend a lot of time on that every year. And it's draining and it takes bandwidth and it creates uncertainty. You can hire an overseas bookkeeper for $5, $6, $7 an hour that handles your QuickBooks online, but then goes to your CPA. Boom, you never have to worry about categorizing expenses again. You can hire them on Upwork.com for $5, $6, $7 an hour. You need someone to handle your calendar and email so you can focus more time on talking to sellers and talking to buyers. Well, guess what? For $5 an hour, you can hire an assistant in the Philippines off Upwork who has experience with that to handle your calendar and handle your inbox, Slack and email and everything else. You need someone to set up your marketing campaigns. Great. You can find probably a CMO, a fractional CMO who's worked for a big company in a country like Pakistan, like India, like Central South America for $10 an hour to come and audit your brand, set up your funnels, set up your branding, set up your testimonials and processes, either full-time or part-time on a fractional basis through Upwork or other sites that change your life. So there's not a role that you can tell me that you most likely can't figure out how to hire overseas. There's so many roles overseas that you can figure out how to hire. For even salespeople, I hire overseas. SDRs, I hire overseas. Cold callers, I hire overseas. So you guys really need to think about how can you build leverage overseas for your business and get a lot of your time back. If you don't figure out how to get your time back in your business, you'll repeat the same 6 months over and over and over again. You'll feel like you're banging your head against the wall, and that's not what I want for you guys. I want you guys to start feeling what leverage feels like. It feels wrong to work less and work more on things that are a higher priority. But the reality is busyness does not equal productivity. And a lot of you guys sending emails all day, sitting in Facebook groups all day, going to trainings and meetups and coaching groups and webinars, that's not productivity. Productivity is, Tim Ferriss has a good quote on this. He says, being busy is the number one form of being unproductive. So busyness is being unproductive. Why? Because you're not focusing on the things with the right amount of energy that actually matter. You'd be much better off spending 4 hours a day talking to sellers than you are going to be 8 hours a day doing a bunch of random stuff. You're going to be much better off 4 hours a day talking to buyers than you are 4 hours a day doing random stuff. That's just the reality of the situation. Is you cannot in any way, shape, or form get to where you want to go by doing low level activity grinding, right? If grinding was what made people wealthy and what made people's dreams come true, yeah, does it help to have that mentality and would be willing to do whatever it takes? Absolutely. But on the right stuff. The guy working at the grocery store, the guy working in the coal mine, the guy working doing manual labor, doing steel work, works a lot harder than you. His outputs are much higher. His inputs are much higher, but he's getting much less out for those outputs. So you want to think about things that you can do one time that give you outputs forever. So what are those things? Recording training for your team. You do that one time, it creates outputs forever. Hiring someone to do your books. You do that one time, it creates outputs forever. Talking to sellers, right? You talk to sellers, that those become referrals, those becomes more deals, that creates multiple outputs and revenue. So you either want to be focused on things directly tied to revenue like sales, or things that create ongoing compounding outputs, like training your team, like creating content, like do marketing campaigns, things that create ongoing compounding outputs. The more you can do of that and the more you can hire out everything else, the quicker you will get to where you want to go. And the caveat is it's going to be hard. It's going to suck. It's a muscle you have to build. You are not natural, most likely, at hiring and training and managing. It's a skill that you have to build. You have to read the books. You have to listen to the podcast. You have to have people quit. You have to learn a lot of the things internally. You can't just hear them and implement them. I give the example a lot. It's like when I go and I hit golf balls with my golf instructor, I would love if I could just watch what he does, step up and do it. But you have to feel every part of the swing yourself. So you can listen to me talk about this, talk about hiring, talk about management, talk about scaling, and be like, oh, I'm going to do that. But once you actually get into it, once you actually feel it, once you actually have bad employees quit, steal from you, you have to fire them. That's when you start actually putting the reps in and building that muscle and start developing with the myelin, right? The myelin is a word my acupuncturist a long time used ago. That's the part of your DNA, your cell, that gets trained on a certain movement, a certain activity. It's the myelin. And the myelin in this is actually going through over and over again. That's what builds your myelin, builds your intuitiveness, builds that gut feeling when you know what it's time to hire, fire, how to manage, how to run a team, how to build culture. That's what gets you to scale. So thanks for sticking around for another 8-minute episode of the Off Market Operator podcast. Again, I am your host, Ruud-Johnson. I am super grateful you guys stuck around and hung out for everything that we went over today. I hope it was extremely valuable. As always, I don't put paid promotion behind this podcast. The only way this grows is through organic word of mouth, you telling your friends. So a post on your story, a message in my DMs does mean the world. I truly listen to everything you guys say. So until next time, as always, you are only one deal away.